Welcome to your life coaching and personal development masterclass. It is important to note that this teaching is a building block for the perfect structure that you seek to become. With your patience and dedication, you surely will receive the insights that will help shaping your perspective towards having a wholesome life experience. So, let's get started. There are roadmaps to discovering your passion. So I'll be telling you about roadmaps again, and there are also 7 of them, 7 roadmaps to discovering your passion, right? So this is what people really want to hear. The first one, like I always like to say, is knowledge. Knowledge. Just that knowledge. First. This is the first roadmap. Knowledge that you're here to fulfill a function, again, like I said before. People abuse their lives, live recklessly, smoke their lives away, drink their lives away, wake up at whatever time, go to bed at, just abuse their lives and wade through lives doing hit and miss because they're ignorant about what they carry. You must know you are here to fulfill a function, and you must be responsible enough to want to carry out that function. You must tell yourself that your role and your assignment is that important. You must know it. You must recognize it. T.D. Jakes describes it as your instincts that makes you recognize that you have something that the earth needs. Okay? So you must have that knowledge. Okay? You owe the earth something. I always like to say you owe the earth. Pay your debt. Pay it forward. Okay? And number 2, roadmap. You can find your purpose in your passion. When you use your gifts, your skill, your passion, your uniqueness, just use all of this to light up your world, then you are living purposefully. You can ignite your purpose through your passion, through finding your passion, and you can do that by first try to describe what makes you happy. What truly makes you happy? Just try to describe it and just say, when I call friends on the phone and stay for 50 minutes. No, that's not what I mean. Okay, so go deeper. What gives you joy beyond happiness? Joy. Okay, authenticity. Think you are your best when you are authentic to your call. When you're authentic to your call, to your purpose, then you live your best life. Okay, so in the pursuit of purpose, you ought to be true to who you are. Don't be true to what people call you. Don't be true to societal expectations of you. No, be true to who you are and not what people say you are. If you can stop doing what you are doing and still be happy, then really you don't have any purpose for what you're doing. You don't have any passion. If you leave that job, leave that thing that you are doing and you're still happy, then really, you don't have a passion for that thing you're doing. So you are most fruitful at the place where you are gifted. You know that? That's where you're most fruitful. That's where you shine. A lot of people have found money and still haven't found purpose because they're not operating in their areas of gifts and passion. So my question is, what gives you joy and satisfaction? What gives you a passion for living? What gives you a passion for living? Okay, so for example, I stayed up through the night prepping, right? Like I do, stay up through the night prepping all the teaching notes for you, even against the odds with children. I have to cook, I have to do different things, but still I had to do this. It's passion, purpose, and I'm happy. Sometimes I get exhausted, but still I have joy. So purpose is fueled by your passion. You can find your purpose in your passion, right? So you can find your purpose in your experiences and your pain, like I said before. Find your purpose in your pain. Purpose is closely related, it's closely connected to your pain, your past hurt, your upbringing, your background, your looks, self-esteem, your weight. Your purpose usually emerges from your place of pain. What you think was working against you is most times actually working for you. So connect the dots. Just trace your patterns backwards, trace your life backwards, and see what's your pain point. What are those things? Really, those are the things that, you might actually, those are places where you might actually find your passion lying, but you've been probably too afraid to confront it. Been actually too afraid to bring it out, to let other people benefit from it. And like I said, you might be the medicine for someone's ailment, right? Someone who's passing through. Someone needs that. So you can find your purpose from your experiences and your pain. And let's move on. You can also find, number 4, find your purpose in your vision. And I don't just mean vision for your family and for your finances and, no. I mean your vision of a higher call. And it could be that you see yourself speaking on bigger platforms, receiving awards for something, one high level of impact. It could be maybe you see yourself when you close your eyes. I mean, what do you see when you close your eyes? That's what I say. Maybe in a field somewhere in Africa, helping the needy, doing missionary work, or sitting on a panel as the first African woman to break the glass ceiling in certain areas of your life. And like I always like to say, I always like to take people through an exercise. I ask them to close your eyes. Yes, close your eyes. Shut yourself away from your environment and from your present predicament. And I say, just imagine that you are not living this type of life. You are not living in your reality. So just some sort of daydreaming. So close your eyes and imagine that you were living the type of life that you really want to live. Imagine that the things that have happened to you, the things that are happening to you right now are not happening to you, right? The things that have happened that are there in your past is fine. But we're talking of going forward. We're talking about your present and your future. So just close your eyes and just take yourself away from that environment. What do you see? What is that thing that you really love to do? What is that vision? What is that vision? Imagine that reality. And you see, one of the most interesting definitions of vision is that vision is a mental preview of coming attractions, right? It's a mental preview. It's like a trailer of your future. Yeah. So your vision and dreams will surely attract that future. Okay? So you can find your purpose in your vision. Write it down. Write that thing that you see when you close your eyes. Write that thing that your heart beats for. Okay? And it doesn't matter whether you think is realistic and achievable right now. Just write it down. It won't hurt you to write down. It won't even hurt you to dream. It costs nothing to dream. It costs absolutely nothing. So just dream it and write it. Okay? And number 5, immediate gratification. Whew, can I talk about this? Oh, you can never find purpose fully if you pursue immediate gratification. No way. For every single person that passes through life, desperation is a thing. And desperate times must come. And it doesn't matter whether you are rich or whether you are poor or high or mighty or low or whatever. You must surely meet with desperate times. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with money. It could do with decision making on a job, a relationship, relocation, or just anything. The good thing is that when we come close to these crossroads of desperation, there is always that knowing, that pressing signal of imminent danger, right? Like an internal pressure and a nagging feeling that, hey, we are coming to a crossroad. We are crossing a threshold that isn't really good for us. And this is really deep. This is really deep because listen, the reason why you experience that kind of pressure from within, not to cave into that desperation, that thing that signals you, is because desperation can actually, caving into that desperation and satisfying yourself can derail you from purpose. Derail you from your immediate purpose, from your purpose rather. Immediate gratification is like mortgaging your future, just like Esau did with his younger brother for a morsel of bread. Someone who caves into desperation lacks foresight. You can imagine, he was coming from wherever he was, and he has not eaten. His mom is there. There is food in the house. Food was not the problem. Really, there was foodstuff. He could go get foodstuff. But it was just that time to make it. He was just hungry. And then asked his, and his brother said, you will give me your birth. He sold his birthright for a morsel. And that's exactly what immediate gratification is. It's mortgaging your future, just like Esau did. So someone who caves into desperation lacks foresight, lacks the ability to see beyond the present. And that's very risky for anyone, because there's some errors that will cost you an arm and a foot, depending on the gravity, before you find your way back. And in some cases, yes, you will find your way back, but then, like I said, getting back on track might be a costly experience for you. Same as Esau. The Bible says that he sought it. He sought to get his place back. He sought his birthright, but he sought it with tears. Right? He sought it with tears. Thankfully, he reconciled with his brother. But really, you want to go through that? So bear in mind. Also, importantly, yes, desperation can blind us sometimes. But the trick to overcoming desperation most times is patience. Just hold on. Don't make that decision yet. Hold on. It will pass. Because it's a trick. And it will seem like in that instant, your whole life wants to come to an end. And it will come to an end if you don't make that choice, or if you don't jump in on that business opportunity, if you don't give to that lecturer's demand or your boss's demand. Nah, just be patient. And sometimes it's beyond patience. Sometimes you have to be bold enough to say to that situation that, you see, you are not the owner of my life, so you cannot control the outcome of my life. Sometimes you've got to say that. And like I once said to my lecturer, you cannot tell me I will not graduate when you're not the one that gave me my admission. How can you tell me that? Sometimes you have to have a full knowledge of who you are and whose that you are, so that you will not be afraid and desperate of all those false evidences that appear real, like they describe fear. Those fake things that have come to threaten you and make you feel as though you don't have a say over your own life and over your own destiny. So beware of immediate gratification. And this is a thing, and I say it so passionately because I know that this is a thing. Don't mortgage your future for a morsel of bread. Okay? Number 6. Oh, so good. You can find your purpose, and you will definitely find your purpose in love. Love for humanity, love for people. You must be willing to do good works. That's what I mean by love. And you ask, what are my works? What are my good works? In what capacity am I meant to serve humanity, right? What that means is that whether you are tailoring, you're a tailor fashion designer, or you're a teacher, or a pilot, or a writer, or a programmer, or a waiter, or a cook, or an architect, or a graphics designer, or an entertainer, your work must be taken as an assignment that has been given to you to better humanity. It should go beyond the job and beyond making money. No. Once your singular aim is to make money, then that isn't purposeful living. No. Check it out. See, listen, when you attend all those seminars, where they talk about finding your purpose, they all say the same thing. They say, listen, go and look for a gap in the society. You have solutions around you. Look for a solution. Look for a problem that you want to solve. That's what they say. Look for something that is lacking that needs to be fixed. That's exactly what they say. Because it's a love thing. It's a love walk, right? It's possible also to be doing a humanitarian work, and yet you're not living purposefully. So don't say, oh, well, I'm a doctor, I'm a nurse, or I work in an NGO, or all of that. No. It is possible to be a doctor and yet you're not living purposefully. It's just a job for you, as we see most of them in Nigeria. Frustrated and just going about their jobs heartlessly. There is no heart. There's no love in that situation. There's no love. So it's a job for them, as we see most of them like that, even in other parts of the world. So when your job, which you love, by the way, whether it's a volunteering job or a paid job, when that job is taken as an assignment and carried out from a place of love, then you know you are living out your purpose. Yes. Then the 7th way to find your purpose, like I described the 7 characteristics. The 7th characteristic was characteristic. The 7th way to find your purpose is finding it in God. And can I say this enough without sounding like a preacher woman, which isn't a bad thing, right? But you can find your purpose in God. Find your purpose in God. Find your purpose in God. And I say this, listen. We were all created. We didn't come here by ourselves. We have a maker. And like I keep saying, you are like a product, right? You are meant to profit the earth, right? And that product was created by a manufacturer. And as most products do, you have a manual for your life, right? That manual can unfold. And who can help you unfold it is the Spirit of God, is God, okay? Purpose isn't a destination, it's a journey. It's a lane, it's an unfolding plan of God for your life. And as you start living in that purpose, layers upon layers of expressions of your life begins to unfold. Only your maker, your manufacturer, has your information, and he has given it to you, giving you his spirit to show you that information. There is a spirit in man. The breath of God gives him understanding. In order to have understanding, then you must plug into the spirit. Plug into God's spirit. Okay? Plug to your manufacturer. He holds your manual. He holds the manual for your life. Okay? And that's the last one. But listen, let me throw in some bonus goodness before we wrap up. It's important to know, very important, your talent isn't necessarily your purpose. Your talent is usually that thing that will lead you to your purpose street. Okay? Your other dimensions may be the transportation that brings you into the things that you were meant to be. Like me, as an actress, as a singer, whatever. The talent isn't necessarily your purpose. Okay? So, for another person out there, don't be confused. When you are living at your best, at the best, fullest expression of yourself per season, you are also living purposefully. There is purpose there. Because your purpose is here. Your purpose is now. Your purpose is right now. Right now. Your purpose is right now. Purpose is in your education. Purpose is in your grades right now also. Purpose is in your friendships. In forming friendships, forming your partnerships, forming alliances, in sharpening your skills. Purpose is right now in honing your gifts. Purpose is in getting that promotion, getting another degree. As long as you are loving what you are doing at the time that you are doing it, then you are at peace while doing it. Then you're on Purpose Street. You're on Purpose Street. Okay, so don't let this sound like some very high and mighty and strange thing for you. Okay? There are also groups of others that do not necessarily love what they're doing right now. This is another category of people that I like to speak to. They don't necessarily love what they're doing right now. It's painful for them, but they have no choice but to keep doing it. I tell you, keep at it. If you have no choice, keep at it. For some, it is a job that they have to keep so that they can use it to fund their passion. Please keep at it for now. Until you would know when it is time. You would know when that season of your life is over. Then make that shift. Probably some of them are living with their guardians, who are mean and won't allow them get an education, they allow them live this kind of life that they want to live. Let me tell you, just keep doing what you are doing. Keep serving that thing that you are doing with all your heart, Listen, there was a man called Joseph who didn't bargain for such a troubling beginning. He had no choice, but that was purpose. There was purpose there for him. I bet you, if Joseph had grown up under his dad as a favorite child with a coat of many colors, he most likely would never have had the chance to rule an entire city and to feed cities and to save his own family and generation. He probably would have died with all of them during the starvation period. So he was, matter of fact, if he was still at spirit, when the hunger came, they would have all perished together, probably. But that story, all that thing that he had to pass through was part of his journey, right? And the third category of people the fourth category I meant, that I'd like to speak to, are those people who are facing demotivation or confusion. How do we tackle this? You just might need to step out and venture into new territories. Be adventurous. Try new things. In stepping out, you might begin to see life again. You might begin to gain new insights, new perspectives. You have the desire to live again. And I know a lady friend, my friend who suffered depression after a heartbreak she faced. She had been in this relationship for 10 years. And her depression grew to the point where she became suicidal. And you see, one day she said, okay, you know what? She took all her money, her last cash, and said she was going to go gratify herself first, right? And spend her last cash before ending her life. She was very young, in her early 20s. So she went to a very expensive restaurant in Victoria Island. And when she ordered this meal, she ate it. And she had this, they brought the dessert. Say, MJ, when these people brought this dessert to me, oh my goodness, it looks so pretty. And when I tasted it, my goodness, I was like, what? Life is so good. What? She said it was then. I say, die for what? So each time we laugh about that story. But yeah, she still had bouts of depression. There were times when she slept back and forth. But you see, that was a major, we laugh about it. So it happens that you just might need to pick up a new skill, travel out of the country, try another course entirely, do something new. And who knows, your eyes may just open up, to see differently. And then, you can begin to move on from there. And the final category of people are people who I want to talk to are people who I'm inspired by the latest experience that I had. People who were hit by a severe trauma, right? And I'm glad that I went through that experience. I'm not happy about what happened, but at least I can relate with these people who have lost a sense of purpose and are also demotivated, but by trauma, right? Life happens, and this is real. When we have started preparing this course, it should have started earlier than 17th. I was hit by terrible news, the loss of a friend, my close friend, who died, and it was such a traumatic experience. And I put it out there. It's on my Instagram page if you care to go watch it. I couldn't deal with it. I didn't understand it. I dropped from so much zeal and zest to emptiness. I was so empty. But I'll tell you a few things that helped me. Number 1, journaling, my notepads, my social media accounts, things that I have written down, Facebook, my write-ups, my website. One day, I got up and I went back, to my Instagram because I'd lost every sense of purpose. I'd lost the drive. I didn't know what was driving me, what was motivating me to write the things I was writing, what was motivating me to start this TALA. What is this thing about? Honestly, I was blank. So I understand it. When I went back and I started reading, every day I was just reading up my own stuff and consuming my own material till it was like my spirit, from there it jumped back into my body gradually. It was gradual, but you see, it helped a whole lot. Number 2, my team. Oh my goodness, your circle is very important. These were people who knew my vision and they were committed to bringing it to light. They are vision bearers. When you get to that phase in your life, you will be surrounded by such people who are there to hold you and uphold you when you are falling. They mourned with me. They continued the race in my absence. They worked harder than they did when I was around. And they don't just come in from anywhere. Now is the time to invest in your relationships and your friendships, I tell you. My team, and I want to shout out to them. Shout out to Coach Somto. Shout out to Coach Kemi. Oh my God, amazing people. And other people that you don't know that are not of the female gender. Right? So your circle is really important. They helped me. And the last one, is God. Worship. Affirmations. And like I always like to apologize. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Sorry but no sorry, that I always have to bring God in here. Like I said, God is the ultimate. He's my source of light. That's my flow of wisdom, right? So you have to just try and deal with it if you must, but listen, everything that I'm saying is wisdom, and it comes from Him, source of all wisdom, right? So I need to mention Him. And truly help me. Worship and affirmations were a big deal in that season, where I would thank God I had the things that I wrote as affirmations in the past. That's why it's good to write down right now. So every morning I'll wake up and I'll open scriptures, I'll play worship. I just surrounded myself and immersed myself with worship and God's word. I'll open the book of Psalm and I'll read out loud. And I was doing all of those things. So these are things that help me to go through trauma. Okay? Yeah. And then lastly was you. Lastly was my love for humanity, my love for people. Lastly was you. I thought about you a lot. And I mean all of you that are listening to me right now. I thought about these classes. When I started, I'm like, wow, a lot of ladies need me. A lot of people need me. A lot of people. I remember the people who needed to hear the things that I had to say. I knew that my assignment was there waiting for me. I knew that I had a role to deliver that would elevate the quality of lives of people so that it can have a ripple effect in their family, their communities, and in Africa as a whole. I knew that. And that's why I said knowledge is key. So you see, that knowing was a big deal for me. And so I had to get back on track and just do this. And that's it. That's all. And I hope that this has been highly beneficial for you. Your feedbacks are very much required. Please feed us back. Feedback. Let's hear you. Let's hear how this has been very impactful for you. And also tell someone. Tell someone. It's like the gospel is good news, right? You get good news. You get blessed. You're blessed to bless people. So spread the word. Spread the word about this program, about the African Lady Ambassador program. Spread the word about the coaching program. I have my private coaching program, right? It's open. Private coaching, where you come and I coach you and I help you, and private mentoring program as well. So thank you very much for listening and for staying with me. I love you so much, and I will see you again in your next class. Bye-bye. This course was brought to you by TALA, which is an acronym for the African Lady Ambassador. TALA is a coaching and mentoring institute organized for young, passionate, vibrant, and driven African ladies. This course is a self-discovery course at TALA that is aimed at helping those who are on a quest to discover themselves, to unlock their potentials, and to live purposeful, authentic, and fulfilled lives. I hope you completely enjoyed this module. My name is Mary Jane Ubaja, and I look forward to hosting you in the next class.